How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? Data here, and welcome back to the Pittsburgh Penguins franchise mode, episode number 18, headed into the year number 5, 2028 postseason. In the last one, we won our third consecutive President's Trophy, but we did so as the Department of Defense. It was one of our best defensive seasons in all of the channel history, honestly. We went 50, 23, and 9 to win the President's Trophy, just beating out the Sabres by one regulation or overtime win. We were scoring over 3.5 goals per game, but allowing just over 2.5, which was the best in the league by quite a bit. What was really impressive, though, was our special teams, as the power play was within the top, 10, 15 or so, but the penalty kill at 90% was a new NHL record. So here in NHL 23, we had a new NHL record of the best power play of all time in the Sharks series. I think it was like 36%, and we have a new best penalty kill percentage of all time in NHL history. Scott had left a comment talking about that. The 2011-12 Devils previously had 89.6, but here in 2027-28, we break that record with 90%. It was ridiculous, and largely in part to Joel Blomqvist. Blomqvist had a great year. It was really his first as a starter. Last season, he was playing the bulk of the games, but that was due to injury. This was the first time where we chose to have him as our starter, and he really ran away with it. 37 wins, 3 shutouts, 925 save percentage, 2.29 goals against average, the best numbers in the NHL by far of all goalies with, let's say, 50 games played at least. So not as many games played as some other goalies in the 60s and 70s, but at 56 games played, crazy numbers. Hopefully it's a Vezina. Blackwood did okay in the end. He turned it around a little bit, not quite in his former Vezina form. He did win 13 games and 3 of them by shutout, but, we know that it's likely Blomqvist's time moving into the future. Points-wise, for a quick recap, Draisaitl led the way, of course. DeBrincat scored 42 goals. Catton's third season was a great one. He had scored always in the mid-40s. Now in his third season, he scores 70 points. Morrissey, new career high. Lundstrom, new career high. DeMaio in his sophomore season, great stuff. But really, Joel Eriksson Ek was a huge surprise for us. As we went out and traded for him, Jake Guentzel fell apart. I'll recap that in a second, but Jake Guentzel fell apart. We picked up Joel Eriksson Ek from the Minnesota Wild, sending Guentzel, having him waive his no movement clause to go to his hometown team. Eriksson Ek scored 24 points and was a plus 17 through 32 games, which in comparison to Guentzel was night and day, as Guentzel had scored 24 points and was a negative 27 through 50 games. Definitely not on pace to hit his usual numbers that we had seen from him in the past. He goes back to his hometown team. The pressures of Pittsburgh, the alternate captaincy, no more Crosby, no more Malkin, all that was washed away. And of course, he scores 25 points in 30 games with the same ice time and everything. So Guentzel, he's thriving in Minnesota. We got Joel Eriksson Ek, and we're happy to have him. So before we make any changes yet from the comments the assistant general managers left, here's how our lineup looks like. This is how we left it off headed into the postseason. Defensively, I forgot to mention that we picked up Sean Durzi at the beginning of last episode, kind of retconning the Trevor Moore deal and turning it into Ty Smith going to LA for Sean Durzi as opposed to Ty Smith going to LA for Trevor Moore. He set a new career high, scoring 40 points, was a plus 17 going into our strong defensive play. So having Sean Durzi in here was a huge plus. Just a really good defensive season for us. Durzi, Blomqvist, Joel Eriksson Ek, so many positives. But probably the biggest positive, I know it's crazy to think that there's a bigger positive than that, but probably the biggest positive yet was a first in my NHL franchise mode life. I don't think I've ever seen growth like this. I've seen crazy growth, but I don't think I've ever seen it like this. As we saw at the end of last episode, Jace Wakabayashi, Waka Waka, a third-round pick at 96th overall in 2026. He was a 48 overall with medium league potential, and within 2 seasons, he is now an 84 overall. Third line forward, unsigned, ready to go, and that blew us away. But then we scrolled one down, we saw Fenton as well. I think he was drafted as a 50-some overall, as 6th round pick in the same draft, and now he has 4-star shooting. He's a 6'5", two-way forward, 81 overall, low elite. He's ready to make the jump as well, so incredible, ridiculous growth from these two prospects, from 48 and 50-some overall to be above 80 within 2 seasons. unheard of. So diving into the comments now from the assistant general managers as we get ready to head into the year number 5 postseason. We'll start off with Kronos, who had some thoughts to add on the development of those prospects. He went and did the research. Kronos said, fantastic season. Once again, we are President's Trophy winners. I was curious as to Wakabayashi's growth, so I went back in the archives and checked it out. He was drafted in 2026 as a 48 overall. So he's grown 36 overall in under 2 years. Crazy stuff. Similarly, yes, Fenton was a 50 overall. I think it was low elite, actually, but 50 overall, taken in the same draft, and he's grown 31 overall. So not just one player, but 2 players growing over 30 overall in under 2 years. Nobody can say the GM data slacks on the scouting, that's for sure. Finding gems in the late rounds is your specialty. Thank you, Kronos. Anyway, great video as always. Looking forward to the playoffs. Thank you, Kronos, for doing that extra bit of research. Just goes in the channel archives, absolutely. Josh had some thoughts to think storyline-wise on Jake Guentzel and why he kind of fell apart. Guentzel definitely cracked under the pressure of getting the A and even attempting to live up to Crosby's absence. Moving back home was able to settle his nerves and allowed him to focus more on his game, getting his production back in check. Storyline? Check. Crazy growth there at the end too, looking good for the future. Pickering, hopefully getting a wake-up call with Fenton moving in next year. I think that he's gone next season. Rust, unfortunately, as one of the only remaining original Pens on his way out, does make room for the fresh Waka blood. In my opinion, it's going to be a very interesting playoff tree. Go Pens! Tell the league that the President's Trophy wasn't a fluke, and we earned it this year also. Thank you, Josh. I think that storyline does make sense, and it is true that Pickering and Rust are 2 players who are on the way out. I believe Rust is playing in his 14th season, if I'm not mistaken, as a Penguin. He's 35 years of age right now. Although his production has gone down, he has been consistently in the, let's say, 39 to 46 point range over these last 4 years. He's been there. That's good to see. In the postseason, though, he has been known to turn it on. Over our last 3 postseason runs, he has scored 36 points in 48 games. If that was over the course of regular season, that would be on pace for about 61 or 62 points. So regular season, 40-point pace. Postseason, 60-plus point pace from Brian Rust the last 3 years. So hopefully he keeps it up. He's been a good piece for us in our bottom 6, middle 6. Fingers crossed for him to continue doing so in what was likely his final season as a Penguin. Hopping over to the Discord server now, we're going to get a comment from one of the veterans on the channel, Hobbsy, coming in hot, finally caught up enough to leave a comment. First point, trading Guentzel was tough, but it had to be done. Joel Eriksson Ek seems to fit well with the team, and the team seems primed for another deep run, fingers crossed. Second point, how about that growth from Wakabayashi and Fenton? I can't say I've seen that before. Piggybacking off some comments left above me, if it doesn't burn a year of the ELC, I'd sign Wakabayashi and try him in the playoff lineup. If it does indeed burn a year of his entry-level contract, I would just leave him until after the season. Same with Fenton. That point from Hobbsy alludes to some discussion that was being had in the Discord server already about should we sign Wakabayashi and get him in the lineup right away. Honestly, I don't know if the game will burn a year of the entry-level contract, and I'm very hesitant to try and experiment signing him, then simming to the end of the postseason, then checking if it did, then going back and deleting the save file and trying it again. With the way the game saves over save files and just does stuff arbitrarily without asking you, and I would hate for me to just sim through the whole postseason just for an experiment, only to come back and see that I can't go back. So I'm not going to risk it. I'd love to get Wakabayashi in the lineup, but I do think that we are set. I don't think there's a hole in the lineup. He would fit into it, sure, but it'll probably just be in a bottom 6, 4th line-ish kind of role. So I would want to use him, but it's honestly not worth it with how fickle the save files are in EA franchise mode. Unfortunately, it would be great to run an experiment, then come back, but it's too risky. After the postseason, if we still have a save file from this date, April 18th, in the a row of save files, I will go back and try to do it just to see, so we know for the future. But as of right now, it would just be too large of a risk. Moving on to Hobbsy's next point, this is now Blomqvist's team. Blackwood is a pure backup at this point. I know he's been solid for the Penguins, but the numbers haven't been very pretty, while Blomqvist's have. Next point, it's slightly pricey, but I tried to keep Nate Smith for 1 or 2 years around $2.5 million. However, it doesn't seem like he wants an extension, so that's probably unlikely to happen. He's been a solid fourth-line center for a few years now, and while I don't think he can surpass this year's totals, I think he could come close again next year. You know, maybe he moves up the third line, maybe Jaeger's into the top 6, or even on the wing, one of those guys. I would love to have Smith on long-term, but I think he would want like upwards of $3 million, which would be a bit too rich for our blood. And then finally, a petition to get the Wakabayashi clip from last episode added to the soundboard of all-time data classic lines. I was shocked, absolutely. Hobbsy, thank you, my friend. All great points. I know we want to get to the postseason, but I'll just skim through a couple of last comments now. Moving over to Addy, who said, what an episode. Our first regular season without Crosby and Malkin looked like quite a success. Love the Sean Durzi move. Jake Gensel, just, I guess the theory is that he didn't want that leadership role, and he was too upset with it. He's a good player, but I guess he was disgruntled in that leadership role. So, we're happy with Joel Eriksson Ek, and Gensel can, do his own thing somewhere else. Also have to love Blomqvist's performance. He's the clear starter going forward and should be the starter in the playoffs. Insane penalty kill, and last shout out to Wakabayashi. Insane growth. Maybe also concerning the lines, DeMaio should not be on that first line. We probably want DeBrincat on the first in the playoffs, so we will consider that. Maybe Nate Smith up to the third. Go Pens, go. Thank you, Addy, for all that. And we'll close it off with a first ever comment from CBest86. Welcome to the Assistant General Manager's booth. CBest says, amazing episode as always. I believe that moving on from Gensel was needed, but as a Pens fan, it hurt my soul. However, I feel better knowing that we got Joel Eriksson Ek, and he produced 4 points every 6 games essentially, while being much better defensively on the with a higher plus minus. Also seems that with the insane growth of Wakabayashi, he could be a younger version of Jake Gensel, U.S. Central, maybe from Minnesota. Storyline. And also, Fenton could be a future replacement for Josh Morrissey as our top pairing left D who can put the puck down ice. As for the playoffs, I think keep similar lines. Only move DeBrincat up, switching with either Catton or DeMaio. Whoever is either worse after a few losses or makes sense like sniper for sniper. Seabest, thank you for those final thoughts. DeMaio was good. He gives it the +5. I liked him on the top line this season with Draisaitl and Catton, but moving into the postseason, I do think it makes sense for DeBrincat to be back up in that role. We were mixing things around with Gensel, but I think it makes sense for DeBrincat to be with Draisaitl. In the postseason the last couple of years, 26 points in 19 games on our run to our Stanley Cup, 17 points in 14 games last year, so we want to get him back in that role. It maintains the +5, which is very good. Do we want to go Lundstrom, Eriksson Ek, and DeMaio on the second line is my question. I would be tempted to have Marchessault on that second line as a playmaker and gives a +2. So I think we will do that. Marchessault has that born leader X factor. He has lots of postseason experience, one of the main reasons that we brought him in. So Marchessault as second line right wing will make sense for us, and DeMaio will go third line left wing on top of all of his special teams minutes. There will be our lineup to start off the postseason here against the New York Islanders, ladies and gentlemen. Our last thing to edit will be the captains and jerseys. I did want to name a captain headed into the postseason, and many people thinking that the captaincy was between Draisaitl or Gensel. So now with Gensel gone, we will maintain one alternate captaincy to Josh Morrissey. I gave an alternate captaincy to Aaron Ekblad just as we were kind of thinking about it. I think Ekblad being the alternate captain moving forward is the move, but for his final postseason, for the crazy pace that he has in the playoffs, let's try and get Brian Rust this alternate captaincy here in his 14th season, I believe it is. Let's give him one last run with the A. Ekblad will get it back, but let's go Morrissey and Rust as the alternates, and let's finally name Leon Draisaitl as the captain of this Pittsburgh Penguins organization. He signed on long term. He's already won a Conn Smythe, a Ted Lindsay, an Art Ross. He's here for the long haul in Pittsburgh, and we're ready to commit to him as our captain, especially with Gensel out of the way. So we'll do that headed into the postseason where we're taking on the New York Islanders. Let's check out their lines. The last time that we saw the Islanders was 2 years ago when we swept them in round number 1 on our way to the Stanley Cup Championship. The time before that, we had beaten them in 5 games in round number 2 on our way to losing the Stanley Cup final. So in our franchise mode series, we beat them once in 5 and once in 4. The team hasn't changed a ton since a couple of years ago. Horvat and Barzal still here. The top line now has Vladimir Tarasenko. That's going to be great for the chemistry. Definitely a +5, I would think, between those three. Wallstrom, Yafalo, and Gurianov on the second line, Saad, Kampf, and Nicolas Roy on the third, Appleton, Steele, and Greer on the fourth line. Good depth there for the Islanders, but not much star power aside from that first line. Defensively, they're much stronger as Pelech and Dobson's on that top pair, Pollock and Romanov on the second, Bolduc and Brodin on the third. Goaltending, it's Ilya Sorokin backed up by Akira Schmid. We've had good success against Sorokin, but he's a very good goaltender. He can turn it on in on a moment's notice. When we swept them in 4 games a couple of years ago, it was including 1 overtime loss, and despite scoring about 3.5 goals against him per game, he did have a .914 save percentage, so you never know when he might turn it on. So thankfully we have beat him before, but we cannot underestimate him. What else is going on here for the Islanders? Gostisbehere, Paling, and Anderson Dolan in the healthy scratches. All right, so the biggest one I'd want to see is Matthew Barzal. What has he done this season? Maybe like a 70-point guy. 78 points for him as their playmaking first-line center. All right, Barzal and big top 50 Bo on the first-line left wing. Let's get ready to rumble, ladies and gentlemen. The year number 5 postseason kicking off here in Pittsburgh. Through 4 seasons, we have a first-round exit, a Stanley Cup final exit, a Stanley Cup championship, and last year a round 2 exit in 7 games to the Hurricanes. Now, what does the future hold for year number 5? Let's find out. Game 1, round 1 here in Pittsburgh. Penguins hosting the Islanders. Let's do it. First period, 1-0 Islanders early as Gurianov scores the lone goal of the period. Shots 11-9 for Pittsburgh through 20 minutes. Second period now, no scoring. Come on, I need the leaders to step up here. No scoring. We have nothing on 22 shots through 40 minutes. We're up 22-21. Final 20 minutes now. I need the Penguins leadership to step up here. Draisaitl, first game with the C on his chest in his NHL career. Nothing through 50 minutes. Power play Islanders killed off by the penalty killers here in Pittsburgh. Very well done. Let's get into it with the last 5 minutes now. Final chance for offense, and it's Jonathan Marchessault on that second line, but then Bo Horvat scores late. Final minute, but then Brian Rust, there he is, the veteran, with the A on his jersey. Let's go, Brian Rust. He loves the postseason. Marchessault scores with under 5 to go. Horvat scores just a minute and a half or so later, but then with just 57 seconds left, Brian Rust ties up this game. Shots end 32-30, and we're headed to overtime. Ilya Sorokin was perfect through about 55 minutes, but we scored 2 in the last 5, and here we are now in overtime. I didn't mention it. Also, just a quick reminder, as you'll see, this video is about an hour and a half long, plus or minus 20 minutes. I always do it something different. If it is the case that we lose early, we'll just have a black screen for the end of the video. I'll put some royalty-free music. You can let it go running in the background with music or not. You can turn the volume off if you want, but I would appreciate if you let it go as long as possible, as it helps the performance, but I don't want to spoil it for us. That's why I do it. So, next player to score will put his team up 1-0 in this round 1 matchup. Catton over to DeBrincat. He has some space. DeBrincat scoring 40+ last couple of years. Can he get one now? Pelech is too strong, though. Morrissey up to Catton. Here is Berkeley Catton. 70-point season. Gives it over to DeBrincat. Now here's Joel Eriksson Ek. Can't get through. They're not ghosts, buddy. Tarasenko, pad save, Horvat rebound, doesn't have a good angle, puts it around the net. Now here's Dobson at the point. Barzal to Tarasenko, scores! Glove side snipe from Vladimir Tarasenko. The Penguins have a great late surge, but the Islanders win it in overtime. Vladimir Tarasenko, channel legend with the Seattle Kraken, snipes it by Eriksson Ek and Ekblad, and I'm not even sure how much Blomqvist could see on that one. Shots end 34-30 for the Islanders, and they take a 1-0 series lead. All right, so tough way to start the postseason. We had a great late push, but we do not get it's just not enough, unfortunately. Down in the postseason, we went 52-15-5. Shout out to the coaching staff of Crosby, Malkin, and Kessel. They're into the postseason. Very well done. But that's it. It was just too little, too late, and we got to see more from the top guys earlier on. Draisaitl, DeBrincat, Eriksson Ek. I'm looking at all of you. Marchessault and Rust, that's great, but that should be supplemental scoring. So here we go. Game 2, back at home here, down 1-0 in the series after a tough OT loss in front of the home fans. Let's tie it up and make it a best of 5 before we head out on the road. First period, 2-1 Islanders. Gurionov scoring the first goal of the game once again. Yafalo scores a couple minutes later. Then Eriksson Ek getting his first postseason goal as a Penguin, and we're down 2-1 after 20. 2 goals on 10 shots past Blomqvist. Come on, buddy. Goaltending was our downfall last postseason. Let's not do it again. Second period. Oh, boy. Power play goal from Pulock and an even strength goal from Dobson. We are down 4-1. Whoa, 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 whoa. Hold your horses. We are down 4-1 through 40 minutes. We need 3 goals in the third to tie this up. Not unheard of, not impossible. Hold on, there's 1. Berkeley Catton gets us on the board. We're within 2. Power play Penguins. Extended power play opportunity. Come on, boys. It's like 8 minutes. We're still on the power play. We're still going. We're still there. Stop. Stop. That is the longest power play I have ever seen in simulation in my franchise mode life. That is the longest power play. Hooking minor, and then with like 9 seconds left, a roughing minor, and then just as that expires, 10 seconds after or so, or 20 seconds after, an elbowing major. We were on the power play from 17:28 to, I believe, 7:58. Am I not mistaken? 9.5 minutes of power play. 0 goals. Whoa. Whoa. Did we get some shots on net? At least some. Not really that many, though. Nothing from that first power play. There was like 1. And then from 12 to, we had like maybe 5 shots on the 10-minute power play. Wow. That is shocking. We don't deserve it. Wow, we don't deserve it. That's like a culture problem. Nobody wants it out here. Shots tied at 30 in the end, and we dropped that one 5-2. Whoa, whoa, whoa. We're making some changes here. Hang on a second. That will not be tolerated. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Let's sim to our next game. But now we're down 2-0. We dropped both games at home, and now we got to win on the road if we want to get back in the series as President's Trophy winners. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Come on now. Okay, let's try a few changes headed into Game 3. Let's get DeMile back on that top line for the +5. I'm going to put DeBrincat. I know it's crazy, but he still has his power play and all that. He'll be happy with his ice time. Let's try him on the third line with Jaeger and Rust. Rust is a machine. Jaeger's a playmaking two-way forward. Let's try that with DeBrincat on the left side of the third line. Maybe we try and put him, even with, I don't know, maybe Lundstrom comes down. Lundstrom's done very well, though, as a second liner. His pace has been incredible as a second liner. So I'm going to try this. Next game, if things don't go well, DeBrincat and Lundstrom can swap, but I'm going to try something a bit crazy. On the fourth line, Matthew Knees had like a -2 through 2 games. Let's bring in our ace up our sleeves, Anders Lee, former captain of the Islanders. We got him off waivers from the Oilers, so let's bring him in here. Maybe he knows something that can help us out. He will play, yeah, fourth line right wing, I suppose. Yeah, why not? On defense, I'm going to swap Durzi and Ekblad. These plus-minuses are not pretty. Morrissey, 69 points on the year. No points, -3 in these first couple games. I know it's just probably more bad luck than anything. Let's try swapping Durzi and Ekblad just to see if that'll get something to get something will get going. Blomqvist has accrued enough good favor to make me say we keep him in, but he has an .888 save percentage. He's got to turn it around because Blackwood is right here licking his lips, ready to get back in the starter's crease. So these will be our changes headed into game number 3. I would want to do something for the power play even. That's crazy. 10 minutes? We got to change something on the power play here. This was really disappointing. Maybe Marchessault can come onto the first unit, and that will give it a +5, which is good. And now on the second unit, Eriksson Ek can go at center. So then Lundstrom can be on the wing over here. Or maybe actually, no, let's try Rust. Maybe that would be something a little crazy. It's postseason time. Let's get him in there. Rust can go on the second unit power play. No pluses, unfortunately, at all. We're lacking a lot of the X factors out here. Maybe Catton should go first unit? I don't know. He's a good playmaker, but not a lot of good finishers. A lot of our finishers are already here. Draisaitl and DeBrincat are 2 finishers. Even DeMile's a shooter as well. But he has 2 X's for the line fit, so that actually wouldn't help the chemistry despite the 1 X factor. So you know what? We'll keep it like that. +5, instead of +3 and 0, we'll go +5 and 0. Maybe that'll do something for us. But okay, our changes have been made. This is pretty much a must-win at UBS Arena in New York. Oh my, down 2-0 as President's Trophy winners. We cannot allow ourselves to go down 3-0, and we need to see the leadership step up in a big way. I need to see Morrissey, I need to see Draisaitl, I need to see DeBrincat. Come on now, gentlemen. First period, that's what we like to see. DeBrincat answers right away with a shorthanded goal. 50 seconds in, Robinson down on the 4th line with Lee on his line as well, and Leon Draisaitl, his first goal as captain of this team. Come on now. 3-0 Penguins on 7 shots in the first period. Thank you very much. Let's not squander it now. Second period, 3-0 it remains. Shots are 21-13 for the Islanders, but we are up 3-0 after 40. That is what I want to see. Machasso, thank you, continuing his point lead. 4-0 now as he scores on the 18th shot, I believe. Halfway through the third period, still hanging on tight. That should be enough to get us the victory here and put us back in this series. We really needed that. Big statement game. Of course, Barzal, whatever you want to say, breaks the shutout late on a power play goal. But Blomqvist bounces back, 29 saves on 30 shots. We score 4 on 22, showing that, yes, we remember how to get through to you, Sorokin. 29 saves from Blomqvist, a goal from Robinson, and 2 assists from Morrissey, his first couple points of the postseason. We're now down 2-1 in this series as we win that one on the road. 4 points in 3 games for Macha. So, game number 4. Now, I'm going to keep on rolling. No need to stop now. We lose those first couple. Now we win that game number 3 by a nice 3-goal margin. Let's keep it up. The offense as well as the defense. There's a reason why we were one of the best defensive teams. Come on. Let's do it. The best this season. One of the better teams in our franchise mode history. Let's go. Berkeley Catton opens it up. I want to see a steamrolling tonight. First period, 2-1. Berkeley Catton scores twice on Sorokin. Tarasenko scoring once. 16-6. Woohoo, are the shots after 20. But we are only up 2-1. Second period now. Whoa! What? 2 goals on 14 shots by the Islanders in that period. Guryanov and Wahlstrom, that late one too, a backbreaker. Shots are 22-20 for the Penguins. But we are down by 1 headed into the third period. Our 2 goals coming from the playmaker extraordinaire, Berkeley Catton. Come on now. DeBrincat, Draisaitl, Rust, DiMaio. Come on. 3-2 Islanders here in the third period. Power play Penguins. +5 first unit, nothing. First 5 minutes, nothing coming there. We're back in front in the shots here. Leon Draisaitl on the power play. Thank you. Power play goal. Is that our first of the postseason? Power play Islanders, we kill that off. We're tied at 3 with 5 to go. Robinson! Okay, and then Smith, the 4th line. Anders Lee with the Midas touch. 12 seconds after Robinson, Smith scores from down 3-2 to a 5-3 victory. Shots end tied at 32, and we come away with a huge win in game number 4. Catton scores twice. Let me see the, actually, we'll check in the lines here. Anders Lee through 2 games against the team that he used to be the captain of. What has he done on that 4th line? Anders Lee, 1 assist and a +3 in 2 games. I'll take that. I will take that. Smith with a goal. Robinson, 2 goals in the last 2 games. What's up with DiMaio here? DiMaio, 2 assists? Okay, I can do that. Lundstrom, 3 assists? I can do that. DeBrincat, a goal and an assist with a -3 is scaring me. 1 assist, -3 for Jaeger, and only 1 goal for Russ, -2. He hasn't done anything since that goal in the first game. That late goal in game 1. So that third line is not impressing me. Defensively, the plus-minuses are back up a little bit. Okay, very good. Much better. Much, much better. And Blomqvist back to now a .912 save percentage. All right. Big scare in those first couple games. We lose the first 2 at home. We win the next 2 on the road. Let's go back home to Pittsburgh now for game number 5. The winner of this game gets to go 1 away from the next round. Let's try and take it at home. The away team has won all 4 games. Let's change that narrative and switch it up here in game number 5 to go ahead for the first time in this series. First period, 1-0 Penguins. Draisaitl scores on the power play, thank you very much, in front of the home fans. Second period, 2-0 Penguins. Aaron Ekblad, even strength on Schmid, who got pulled, presumably due to injury, but he's standing tall. We are leading in shots 33-17, close to doubling, but we are up 2-0. It's not over yet here in the third period. Here in front of the home fans, we score a goal per period, one in the first, one in the second. Now about halfway through the third, no goal scoring on either side. Power play for the Islanders. The top penalty kills it off, and then Anders Lee against his old team. We love those postseason changes here on the channel. GM Data makes the call, and we win 3-0. A 30-save shutout from Blomqvist. Good thing we didn't change him. He just had to find his footing, and he got back. Blackwood coming in eventually wouldn't be impossible, but we have restored confidence now in Blomqvist. Shots ended 41-30. Schmid did well. 3 stars in this one. Blomqvist, 30-save shutout. Draisaitl and Ekblad both scoring. Okay. Huge 3-0 victory. From down 2 games to none, we are now up 3 games to 2 with the possibility of ending it here in New York for game number 6. Lose 2 and then win 4. I wouldn't mind that. We've outscored the Islanders 8-3 over the last 2 games. Let's end it off here in game number 6. Anders Lee is a monster. He was our secret weapon that just, they see him in the Penguins lineup and they don't know what to do. To win it here on Long Island, first period, 2-1 Islanders. Draisaitl, he's been really heating up. He opens up the scoring, then Gurionov ties it up about 2 minutes and 14 seconds later, and Roy scores late. Shots 15-9 for the Penguins. We're down 2-1. Second period, 2-2. Josh Morrissey with his first goal of the postseason ties it up. Shots are 26-19 through 40 minutes. We are 20 minutes away from advancing to round number 2, but the Islanders hold on the power play. It was between power plays, I guess, as Draisaitl scored, not shorthanded. Then DeMaio gets his first of the postseason at a great time. Barzal, though, says that we're not done yet. Power play Penguins, 5-on-3, killed off. Power play now for the Islanders, late, down by 1. We kill that off, but then Yafalo scores even strength. Under 5 to go. We're tied at 4. Gurionov, 3 unanswered now, final 2 minutes, and of course a power play late, and that'll be it. Oh my goodness. Up 4-2 on the brink of advancement, and we allow 3 goals to lose 5-4. 38-30 the shots end. Who took that late penalty? Come on, Reeves takes a hooking minor with 2.5 minutes to go. Zadorov, Lundstrom, oh my goodness. That is really brutal. Just like that, we are 14 minutes and 2 seconds away from moving on, up by 2 goals, and we lose by allowing 3 in the final 11 minutes and 53 seconds. Shots end 38-30, and we drop this one to head to Game 7. Oh, Pollock had 4 assists? What? That is really, really tough. Let's check over the lines one more time before we head into this battle. Let's make sure we're happy with these lines. 5 goals and 7 points through 6 games for Draisaitl. Let's really make sure this is the lineup that we want for Game 7. I'm thinking for Game 7, we make a swap here. Lundstrom and DeBrincat. DeBrincat has not been good. 3 points in 6 games. It's more than 1 goal in 6 games, but -4 as well. Even Jaeger, -2, 1 assist. Russ hasn't done anything since Game 1. Let's get Lundstrom down on the third line because Lundstrom's been good. 4 assists, solid 2-way guy. Let's get him on the third line, which gives it a +2. At the same time, we're getting DeBrincat more ice time, and hopefully with the playmaking of Eriksson Ek and or Marchessault, he can score a goal or 2 now. Come on. So I think we'll try that. I know, should I go left wing, right wing? I know they're primarily left wing. I guess DeBrincat is a right winger. I'd like to have him on his offside, but he's a right winger, so let's do that. Yeah, we'll do the lines like this. Defense, I suppose we keep it as is. And goaltending, of course, we're not changing. 913 save percentage now for Blomqvist. It all comes down to this, ladies and gentlemen. Game 7 of round number 1. Lose 2, win 3, lose 1. And now here we are, tied 3 games apiece at PPG Paints Arena in Pittsburgh. This may be our last game of the season, or it could just be another one as we continue our march to the Stanley Cup. This will be a game in which we see who has passion. I don't want to go back to the lines and say, boys, who has passion, but here I am. GM Data comes down to the locker room. Gentlemen, we have squandered many opportunities this series, but it all comes down to this. The last 6 games, forget it. We've gotten to know the enemy. We've had highs and lows. We've experimented. It all comes down to tonight. Tonight we see what we've been building for the last few years. What Sid and what Gino, what Chris, what Phil, what they left us. This is where we prove that we are capable to continue their legacy. Go out there and prove it to the home fans. Game 7 in Pittsburgh. The stage is yours. First period, 1-0 Islanders early as Greer down on the 4th line gives that first goal to the Islanders. Shots 10-8 for Pittsburgh. I'm putting the controller down. Full sim to the end here. Full sim to the end. We've had a couple of power plays that haven't gone anywhere. No goals yet on Sorokin. Power play opportunity, and there it is. Berkeley Catton, power play goal. The rest of our power play expired. I guess that may have been a double minor or something. But 1-1 as Berkeley Catton on the power play gives us some life here. In his 3rd season, he's going to be the one who does it, I suppose. Final 20 minutes. Does it get better than this? 21-17 are the shots through 40, and we're tied at 1. Forget all of it coming down to 1 game. It now comes down to 1 period. Perhaps 1 goal. Gentlemen, who will be the one? In this life, you must believe that you are the one. You are the one. Every shift, every stride, I want you to tell yourself. I want to hear that. I want you to hear that in your head, that you are the one. I am the one. We're going to go down to times 4 sim, 3rd period. In Pittsburgh, tied at 1. Kampf scores to make it 2-1 Islanders early. Oh my goodness, Guryanov. Dennis Guryanov scores to make it 3-1 Islanders. Power play Pittsburgh. Fantastic opportunity for us to get back in this game. Pause. 1 goal on 29 shots right now. We've allowed 4 on 21. We're down by 3 on the power play with 9.5 minutes to go. Can we see here? What is this penalty taking? 10:24. We have a minute left in this power play. And we're down by 3 with 9:36 to go. Honestly, the slow sim has not been our friend, and I would not expect to score 3 goals in the next 9.5 minutes in this game. I say let's hop in. It's going to be ugly AI play for sure. But I'm going to hope that we get some sort of magic somewhere with it being 9.5 real minutes in the 20-minute simulation. I'm going to hope for something. If there's nothing, I guess I won't have much to show you, but I'm going to hope to show you something as we're going to go in to watch the last 9.5 minutes with a minute to go in the power play or so. Down by 3 with a really, really sad effort so far in this 3rd period. A really, really disappointing. Here, Blackwood even is here? Whoa, I didn't even realize that. Wow. 1 for 5 on the power play tonight. 4 shots through 10 minutes of power play. No one can control a puck. Why can no one accept the pass? Draisaitl. Come on nets. Thank you. Thank you. Leon Draisaitl. All right, this is exactly why I came into the simulation. We got to hope for some simulation AI luck somewhere. Draisaitl, son 6th of the playoffs. We got some life. Down by 2. Thank you to the captain just scoring a really weird goal. Power play goal to put us within 2 with 9:08 to go. Draisaitl. Morrissey. Draisaitl again. Good save, Sorokin. Eriksson Ek finds a little bit of space. Come on, Joel! This is a shot on net. There's been some ugly AI stuff, but Eriksson Ek getting us something here. Come on, 7.5 minutes to go. DeMaio in the corner. Catton to the point. Morrissey. The one-timer. Good save. Rebound. DeMaio on the doorstep. Great play there. Draisaitl and DeMaio getting a couple of shots off. Saw it in front of Kahn. Blomqvist makes the save. Who's back in net now as Blackwood got changed, I suppose. Whatever. Just classic EA stuff. Here comes DeMaio. DeMaio on net. Blocker save from Sorokin. Lundstrom to Rust. Come on, Rust in tight. Another easy save for Sorokin. Smith wins that draw back to Ekblad. Scores! Aaron Ekblad! Woohoo! Okay, GM Data makes a call downstairs. And I purposely did that. I said, I want the 4th line out. Smith at the faceoff instead of Jaeger. Smith wins it back to Ekblad. He snipes a glove side. Ladies and gentlemen, we have life. Aaron Ekblad scores to make it 4-3 Penguins. We still have a chance. 5:46 to go, 4-3 Islanders. Ekblad from Smith. Huge face-off win from Nate Smith. I would love to get... No! You're kidding me! What? What? The trip is it? There's a lead 2 for tripping. There goes 2 minutes. There goes 2 minutes right there. Yeah, there he is. Furious. What is this? Oh my... okay. I thought it was a hit. That's why. Yeah, it's a trip. I thought it was a hit. What are you doing, Lee? Get the stick out of the skates. 5:39 to go. Now we have a 2-minute penalty to kill. Islanders are 0 for 2 with no shots in the power play tonight. But that is a horrible time to take a penalty. By the way, I also made some changes to coaching strategies here, essentially saying that, let's see, that we want to be carrying more than we're dumping, shooting more than we're cycling, play more energy, don't necessarily look to conserve energy, we got to leave it all out there, and try to block. With how Blomqvist has been struggling, let's definitely try and block when possible. So just some quick changes I made there. Hopefully the AI will listen and not do as much cycling and all that. I'd be tempted to make some changes now here in game, trying to put like DeBrincat as someone with better shooting attributes out there. Let's try DeBrincat actually on that first line, and second will be Marchessault, Eriksson and DiMaio. Hopefully that'll do something with how ugly the AI is, trying to skate through people, just doing little dumps when we need to go and shoot the puck on net. Maybe that'll do something. Still about a minute and a half to kill in this penalty. Defensive zone draw. Islanders win it back. Here's Wahlstrom walking in front of the doorstep. Good save across the crease there by Blomqvist. Graves board pinned, trying to kick it out. Islanders still have it behind the net. Here's Barzal. Oh my goodness, I believe that rang off the post. Sound is down so I can't hear, but I believe that went off the post. Tight chance there on the power play here. Not over yet. Horvat, big shoulder save from Blomqvist, and we survived that barrage. You follow. Over to Barzal. What is happening? Thankfully, Blomqvist hangs on to that. That was almost a glitch goal. Eriksson wins that back to Morrissey. Big face-off win with about 25 seconds to go in this penalty. Here comes Nate Smith, part of that hero fourth line. Had that big assist earlier. Pollock down low. Barzal loses to Eriksson. He can't get the shot off, though. Good to kill time, at least. Smith still with it. Smith in tight. Another chance. Eriksson stopped by Sorokin, and he'll hang on. 10 seconds to go, and we're trying to put it on net. That's what I like to see. But thankfully, that penalty should be just about killed. 5 seconds to go. Yeah, clock will tick down, and we'll now be even strength with about 3.5 minutes left. Down by 1. We are not out of the woods just yet. Here comes Anders Lee out of the box. He knows how to play against this team. In front, actually, it gets to the net. Now a power play, yes! Power play coming up as Lee comes out of the box and gets slashed, I suppose, by Tarasenko. I'm not going to make a timeout just yet. Going to be 2 for slashing to Tarasenko. Too bad it's not to someone like Horvat or Barzal. Who did he end up slashing here? Slashes. Oh, yeah, that's why he couldn't receive the pass. Okay, so now a power play opportunity. This is huge, ladies and gentlemen. I actually changed up the power play unit. I put DiMaio at center and Draisaitl as a finisher. So let's see if that helps. Draisaitl, DeBrincat here. Through traffic. And then scores! Leon Draisaitl on the power play! 4-4 with 3.5 to go. That is exactly why we came into this game. And Leon Draisaitl has scored his 2nd of the period, his 7th of the postseason. We're tied up at 4 thanks to that power play. In tight, little tie up there. That switch of DiMaio to center makes the difference. Every little switch counts, and we are now tied at 4. This game is not over yet, but we have life from down 4-1 here in Game 7. We hop in 4-4, 3.5 to go, and that has changed everything. It's not over yet. We cannot concede, and we want to get one more. Draisaitl, maybe those strategies changed as well, I wonder. Let's see what will happen here in the final 3 minutes of this one. The fans are going crazy in Pittsburgh. Catton, Ekblad down in the corner to DeBrincat. Catton cycling it around. Ekblad at the point. Back to Catton. He has a lane. Catton, DeBrincat backhand save there. Nice chance just getting the puck on. That's what I love to see. DeBrincat. Now here's Ekblad. An injury there, I'm not sure. Saved by Sorokin, I think. My eyes were elsewhere. Here's Graves. Just holds it in at the blue line. Draisaitl to Ekblad. Now Draisaitl again can't get through Kampf. And the Islanders regain possession. Good chance there. Hold on to DeBrincat. Not over yet, but good block from Dobson. 2 there in the corner. Mata, crazy pass between the legs to Zadorov. Now here comes Jaeger. 2 minutes to go. Jaeger with some space. Over to Rust. Rust, a big save. Sorokin in tight. Oh my goodness, if Brian Rust had put us ahead right there, I would have lost my mind. The voice is already starting to go and we're still in round 1. The Islanders just walking in. Come on now. Blomqvist makes that save, but just letting him walk in. Let's get the fourth line out there. Draisaitl 1 away from the hat-trick with the C on his chest. There he is. Appleton and Eriksson going at it. Eriksson comes away with it. Marchessault in the corner with the puck with 20 seconds to go. Shoot, buddy, shoot! Doesn't take a shot, and now the Islanders will exit their territory. That's dumped down. 15 seconds left. Could that be it? Can we get the first line out for one last charge? Oh, goodness. Greer steal. Greer glove save Blomqvist. That was probably the biggest mistake of my entire series. Why did I try to change lines there? I guess I thought that he was exiting the zone. On the doorstep, glove save from Blomqvist, and that keeps us alive. We almost lost everything we just did with 6 seconds to go because of that line change. Oh, goodness gracious. Barzal wins that faceoff. Tarasenko walks in. Big save Blomqvist again. At the point, here's Romanov. One-timer! Blomqvist makes another save! What a sequence from Blomqvist to get us into overtime. Oh my. From down 4-1, we hop in. It is a 4-4 game. I did not think that that was going to work out for us, ladies and gentlemen. Headed into overtime. The shots are 45-33 in our favor. We have scored 3 in a row, and it all comes down to Game 7 overtime. Wow, I just needed to take a little walk around the basement here. Oh my goodness, what a comeback. Win or lose, what a comeback. Game 7 overtime, it came down to one game, one period, now it comes down to one goal. The next player to score will put his team through to round number 2. We have the momentum, the Islanders finish strong though. Now we'll see what happens in this first overtime period in Pittsburgh. Big Bo. Down low to Barzal, and tight, big save, all alone Blomqvist. Where was the defense? What a save by Blomqvist. He has been lights out the last few... Hold on, here's DeMaio, big save, Sorokin the other way. Oh my goodness, a couple of great opportunities there from each team. DeMaio and Barzal, both with great chances. Now here's Eriksson Ek. Eriksson Ek in front, another one-timer, Eriksson Ek again! In tight, oh my goodness. I'm going to lose some hairs from this one. Here's Horvat. Up to Barzal now. He's going to dump that in for a quick breather. Ekblad at the point, though, regains it. Rust, Ekblad, down low to Jaeger. That shot is blocked. Here's Rust in the corner to Lundstrom. Lundstrom gets hit before he can walk in. Here's DeBrincat. Catton now. DeBrincat with it again. Morrissey down to Draisaitl. First line out. DeBrincat's shot is blocked. Brodin can't get it away. Here now is Catton. Morrissey at the point. Don't skate into the crowds. Look for the open space. Come on, guys. Pee-wee B. Come on, Pee-wee B plays. Steal in front to Greer. In front scores. Oh, again. Where was the defense on that one? 2 defenders drawn into the corner and no one there to block the man on the doorstep. As the Islanders win 5-4 in overtime. Oh my goodness. What a heartbreaking end after that comeback. Certainly anticlimactic. Of course, here are 2 defenders. We have Durzi and Morrissey. 2-on-1. Why? Yeah, here's Steele. And where's the other guy? Steele, and here's Greer. Why have anybody else? Where is everybody? Like, we had changed coming back on the rush when the puck was coming back down our way, and we had 2 guys here. I said, okay, let's change. But why is it taking them so long? Where have they been? Was something around over here? Was that why? So they got held up by this? What's DeMaio doing? DeMaio's skating backwards. Eriksson Ek is getting held up here. Then DeMaio comes, skates backwards, then skates forward, then skates backwards again, backwards, forwards. Oh, that's why. Some little glitch at the bench. And then meanwhile, Greer's going to skate in wide open and then give it to Appleton on the doorstep. As even they got back in time. Morrissey could have been there. And they have 2 guys in the corner. Of course, it ends on horrible AI play. Not just a shot, and it's too bad. Of course, it ends on horrible AI play. Blomqvist allows 5 goals on 35 shots. Of course he does. We score 4 on 47, but they get 5 on 35. And we get eliminated as President's Trophy winners with 50 wins against a wild card team, the New York Islanders, who had nothing but a first line and a good goalie. Good defensive core too, but no depth scoring. As we get eliminated in a 5-4 overtime loss in Game 7. Again, great third period, but that is the worst way to go out. Some little brouhaha at the bench where people are bumping into each other and the AI is going, skate forward, skate backward, skate forward, skate backward, don't know what to do. And then before you know it, there's someone on the doorstep who just tucks it in. That is such a rough way to get eliminated. We didn't deserve it, though. We didn't deserve it. Draisaitl scores 7 goals, all on his own here. We didn't deserve it. 9 points from him. Morrissey, point per game. Ekblad, Marchessault, Eriksson Ek, all with 6 points. DeBrincat, 1 goal. Scores 40 goals in back-to-back seasons. Scores 1 here. Catton, 4 goals. Lundstrom, 4 assists. Robinson did well. Smith, 3 points. Incredible, this guy. DiMaio had only 3 points on that top 6 roll. Lee, 2 points and a +4 in 5 games. That's crazy. Rust, 1 goal, -5. There goes all the hyping up that I did for him. Gave him an A for nothing. Thank goodness we're finally rid of him. Good riddance. Graves, 1 assist, even +-. Jaeger, 1 assist, -4. Wow. Zadorov, -5. Mata, -3. Oh my goodness. That was really a lot in that final game because these numbers were not that bad heading into Game 7. And Blomqvist in the end, 3-2-2 with a shutout, 904 save percentage, and 3.15 goals against average. Blackwood made a few saves out there. I'm not sure why it doesn't register, but whatever. The game does what it wants to do. Blomqvist was not horrible, but he was not very good. Definitely not what he did in his Vezina numbers, allowing a goal more per night on average through 7 games than he did in the regular season. So, I'm upset about that. I think this team was better. I don't think we deserved it. I think we really fell apart in a lot of ways. Heading into next season, no Rust, no Marchessault. Maybe DiMaio gets put into a more friendly position. We tried to strap the rocket to his back this year. If he's still an 80 or an 81 to start the year, he's a middle 6 guy guaranteed for his career. If he can get some good growth, he had a 28-goal season. He had first, second line minutes. He should have good growth. If he doesn't, then that's too bad. But Marchessault will be gone. The rest of the top 6 should be the same. DeBrincat was disappointing. Lundstrom maybe becomes a top 6 guy. The defense should be pretty much the same, but that was such a disappointment in so many ways after that big comeback in the third period. But we wouldn't have been in that position were it not for bad losses previously. Not taking those chances on the power play. Not capitalizing on those chances on the power play. So I'll take a little bit of a break myself. We'll sim to the draft. See who retires. See what else happens. Check out the playoff tree, the awards, and then see where everything stands come June 23rd. To add insult to injury, as I came to edit this episode, I found that the audio from now to the end of the video was not recorded. So here I am re-recording it in a different environment. I'm a bit congested, so apologies for that change. Thankfully, it's only from now to the end of the video. As you can see at the end of the postseason, the Oilers are Stanley Cup champions, back-to-back champs. They've won 3 of the last 4 Stanley Cups. Ridiculous for McDavid and company. Vegas jumps from 9-1 in the lottery. Vancouver 8-2, but Seattle drops from 1-3. Tough when there's, I believe, a franchise player available. We'll see that soon. Of course, now I'm speaking having already known what's going to be here. Retired players, when we're looking at the retirements for this season, we see Nicholas Backstrom, former Penguin Ryan O'Reilly. David Krejci retires at 42 years old as compared to retired already in the real world. Parise even at 43 years old. Still 78 overall for Parise. Taves was 40. Hedman actually was still a high... Yeah, he was still an 87 overall. 37 years old, he retires. Duchesne, Kadri, Pacioretty. I don't believe anyone else who played for us during this series. There's Toffoli, right? Yeah, I believe that's just about it, though. Looking at the goalies who retired, we see Freddie Anderson in just a moment. There he is. Freddie Anderson, he was a big part of those Oilers teams. He was still 75. He did a lot for Edmonton. And Craig Anderson at 47 years old, still a 76 overall. He calls it a career. I don't think I've ever seen a player retire that old, unless maybe Zdeno Chara. He retired at 46 or 47 once. But Craig Anderson, 47, retiring in 2029, still at a 76 overall. Hats off to you, buddy. Continuing to sim towards the draft, Kadri and O'Reilly are now both coaches. Any coach retirements for us in Pittsburgh or down in Scranton? Doesn't look like it. Alrighty. We'll keep on simming. No need to do any interviews as we have pretty much the whole class uncovered. And now here we are at the draft. First things first, let's check out the playoff tree in the end for the 2028 postseason. I said Craig Anderson retired in 2029. It's 2028. I'm just out of it. Sorry about that. So in the end, the Oilers steamrolled their way to the Stanley Cup, taking down the Sharks in 5, Ducks in 5, Blackhawks in 5, and then beating the Canadiens in 6. It turns out that the Islanders went on to beat the Rangers in 5 after beating us in 7, but they fell to the Canadiens in 7, and the Canadiens went on to lose to the Oilers. So the Oilers, 3 cups in the last 4 years. Another President's Trophy for us, of course, but hasn't led to more than just 1 cup so far. Canadiens were there in the Stanley Cup final. Kucherov wins the Art Ross and the Hart. We already know a few of these awards. Fox wins his second second. Norris in 3 years. Goudreau wins Lady Byng. This guy Green on the Predators wins the Calder. McDavid wins the Conn Smythe. Now we want to see, does Blomqvist get the Vezina with those great numbers but the smaller sample size? Let's see here, and yes, he does. Blomqvist wins, so that gives us 2 Vezinas in the last 4 years. Blackwood, then Kochetkov, and now Blomqvist, and back-to-back Jennings and Vezinas for Blomqvist and Blackwood. Very well done to them. I wasn't sure if we were going to qualify. I forgot how many games Blackwood had played, but yes, back-to-back Jennings for our tandem. Nathan Beaulieu wins the Bill Masterton. The coach of the Flames wins the Jack Adams. We see Lindholm wins his 3rd consecutive Selke Trophy, and Kucherov wins the Ted Lindsay. We used to call the Selke Trophy the Ryan O'Reilly Trophy, but I might have to rename it to the Lindholm Trophy as he continues to win it here in the simulation. On awards down in the AHL, checking any of those out. I think we lost in the first round despite the 52-win season, so it makes sense. And no awards for any of our players. Alrighty. Makes sense that we had 52 wins, but we have 50 wins in the NHL, 52 wins in the AHL, and both those teams go out in round 1. So a few things left to do until we call it an episode. We also want to check out the draft class, some of the progress reports, extensions. So looking at our picks in this draft, we'll have the 28th overall pick in round 1, and then the 28th overall pick in round 2. So pick number 56, 28 and 56. Then we pick at 4, 6, 7. So no 3rd and no 5th in this draft. We have only 5 selections. Of course, we can always trade around, but I don't want to always be just trading away the future, just trying to get picks right now. So we'll see what comes our way. Let's check out the draft class first. So 28 and 56. So first overall will be this guy, Shishkanov, medium franchise gem from Ukraine. How about that? My goodness. Going towards 28, we see a lot of top 6 forwards, top 4D, the usual, but it starts to get rough later on. Top 9 forwards, top 6D. So as per usual, we're either trading up a little bit or probably trading down a little bit. No one really speaks to me there. This guy's crazy though. Medium franchise gem. Let's see, similar style to Wayne Gretzky, of course. That's the best case scenario for a prospect. So Gretzky, NHL ready. He has, I believe I saw A+ on those attributes as well. Yeah, A+ shooting, A+ puck skills. There you go. Great stats for an A+ league. He'll be a great player for Vegas, who won the draft lottery. Other NHL ready guys here in the top. Yeah, I just want to see if anyone else is NHL ready within anyone outside of the top 10. This guy Rudy Sharp is NHL ready. He's ranked 10th actually. Medium top 6 forward, 17 years old. Good stats for a C- league. A+ puck skills, A shooting, NHL ready. All good stuff. I'm not sure if we want to trade up all the way for him. This guy Kochi is also a year away. Eminger a year away. Langlois. But after that, I believe everyone else is between 2 and 4 years away outside of the top 15. So no gems to try and get later on. So if we go look at pick 56 around, or who at least is around there, no one really interesting. Maybe this low elite guy, Drew Nielsen. Let's see, 3 years away. I think he had A for puck skills or shooting there. That could be interesting. A low elite gem we could trade up for. Medium elite goalie, but 5 years away, so not super interesting. But a lot of top 6 forwards, top 4D. So I wouldn't mind maybe trading our first and our second to get 2 picks in like the early 40s type of thing. I could see that being valuable for us. Low elite Jovanovski, medium elite goalie, another 5 years away. Jovanovski, 2 years away, 19 years old. Okay, that could be interesting. Aside from that, lots of the usual low top 4, low top 6. If we sort by potential, we see a few. This guy Zadorov would be good, medium elite defensive defenseman. 5 years away though, but as we know, that could sometimes be crazy growth. And a lot of good low elites. Yeah, a lot of good low elites. So that's why I might want to take like picks 4, 6, and 7 and turn them into like a couple, or like 3, 6, 3, 7s. I don't know. Just a way to get a lot of picks in the 200s here, because a lot of these low elites are very interesting. And as we know, those low elites can have crazy growth. Or if not, worst case scenario, their trade value. But we got that Ukrainian, that Croatian. Yeah, definitely some guys that we'll want to be going after. Progress reports now, as we want to check out any other growth that happened over the postseason. Some of it is unsustainable, but we'll see some of our players in the NHL who have had growth. Eriksson Ek up to an 89. Yeah, we see that. Very, very nice. I'm not sure if it'll stick at 89, but good to see that that's where he will leave the season off with 1 more year on his contract. Mastroso down to 82. I'd love to keep him as like a third-line guy, but he continues to drop. Jaeger 82 as well. Yeah, Mastroso with his top-line potential, he would probably start next season as an 80 as well. But I'm glad that Jaeger is growing, because that was someone that we had some concern with. Lundstrom up to an 85. DiMaio at an 82. Good. I wanted to see growth from him especially, not be stuck at 80. Catton, 87. He continues to have consistent growth. Blomqvist, 89. Wow. So he signed on for 2 more years, and he'll be an 89, at least as of now. We'll see if he starts the season like that. Dursey, 85. No other growth or regression from anybody else. In the system, as we know, Fenton, Wakabayashi, even those other guys, though, Lashoff, Rensfeldt, Backstrom, guys who were like 40s, 50s when they were drafted, now 62, 75. I believe they will have to get signed to the AHL now, unfortunately. But if we can leave them unsigned, we will leave them unsigned. Jorgensen, also some good growth. He's up to a 69. He's probably our best goalie in our system. Yeah, he's had some very good growth. He's playing well overseas. Last, we'll want to check out the contract situation headed into next season. We'll have quite a bit of money to play with, I believe. Let's just check it out here. If I look at Rust extension, he wants we have 16.115. Rust only wants like $2.5 million. We could probably do it, but do we want to? Same for Marchessault. I'd rather get some younger players in here. We got to try to get Callan Lind up here. We have these other guys like Wakabayashi coming in. So that's the thing. Just because they could fit doesn't mean they should fit. Jaeger's also going to be needing a contract. What does he want? Yeah, we could do like 3 years, yeah, we could do 3 years, like 2.75 on Jaeger. That would work. Fenton will get signed, and these other depth guys, we'll have to think about that. DeMello, Nees, Robinson. Robinson would only want like 1. Okay, we could definitely bring Robinson back. Nate Smith has been 4th line center extraordinaire. Now he wants $3 million, so I don't know if it'll work to bring him back. I'd love to, but I don't know if we can promise him 3rd line minutes. Noel Nord, another guy, maybe 1.5. We'll see. Neighbors, Strangers, all those guys, we could always consider them. Goalies, I think that situation is fine. Yep. And if we're just looking at all unsigned players, I believe it's just Wakabayashi and Fenton. All unsigned. Yeah, I don't think anyone else will be making the NHL, but Lashoff, Rensfeldt, and Backstrom, and even Weaver would all be getting signed to play in the AHL next year. Hopefully, Crosby, Gino, Kessel, that coaching staff can continue to help them out. So if we're just thinking about what does our lineup look like next season, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with DiMaio, 7 with Jaeger, maybe 8 with Robinson, maybe 9 with like a guy like Nord, I don't know. But keep in mind, then Wakabayashi's in our lineup. Maybe Forsstrom's in our lineup, so that's a couple spots right there. Maybe Neighbors is depth, Petrov. We definitely want Callan to get up in the lineup next season as well. I guess he would probably be our 4th line center if Smith is on his way out. He's spent 3 full seasons in the WHL, 3 full seasons in the AHL. Very good numbers this past year, 67 points. It is time for him to get the opportunity, make it or break it, and he has to get NHL minutes next season. So that's where Smith likely moves on, even though I'd like to keep him. Defense should be pretty straightforward. Morrissey, Ekblad, Dursey, Graves. Mata, Zadorov could stay as the last pair because Pickering is definitely trade bait, but we do have Fenton coming in. I don't think there's anyone else in the system. Both Zadorov and Mata are signed on for 1 more year at $2.5 million, but I think one of them either has to go or stays as depth. Mata, 9 points and a +3. And come on, scroll down. Zadorov, 16 points and a +9. Plus, Zadorov has been more consistent. It was nice having Mata back, but he either moves or he becomes 7th defenseman because we'll definitely need to get Fenton on the team full time. I don't think anyone else is really pushing for a spot, especially Pickering is trade bait here at the draft. Absolutely. So with all that being said, that will leave some lineup spots available, and we will have some money, at least for this next season or next couple of years, looking at the potential pending free agents. If we just look at the UFAs who may be out there come July 1st, Trevor Zegras, Clayton Keller, Brady Tkachuk, some big ones. If we look just at the forwards first and foremost, yeah, absolutely. Hayton, Novak, Arvidsson, Bertuzzi, Zach Hyman, who had great success in Edmonton. A lot of big names where we're wanting some big money, and we'll have about $16 million to spend, minus the money to like Jaeger and not too much else really. Looking at any defense who are out there, if you're just curious, Bouchard, Miller, Dumba, Pionk, Bear, and the goaltenders who are out there would be Wolf is the biggest one as an elite starter, but the rest are 84 and under. And don't forget, if you want to be an on-call assistant general manager so that you're made aware of questions that I have as I'm recording, such as here's the free agency class, what do you think would be the best course of action, you gotta join that Discord server, link in the description, ask for the role, and you'll be notified whenever questions happen as I'm recording. So if we look at our team, and we got to consider, yeah, we have money now, but down the road, it might be a bit more tight. If Eriksson Ek only has one more year, then he will be a UFA after his $5.25 million deal runs out. Durzi has one more year until his deal runs out as well. So yes, we have $16 million to spend heading into this offseason, but if we spend a little now, and let's say we really have $10 million, keep in mind that come next offseason, Eriksson Ek's going to want a bit more. Durzi's going to want a bit more. Let's see, DeMaio will be wanting a contract out of his RFA status. Yeah, that's with leaving everyone else on the table. Jaeger will be on his deal. Not the craziest situation. I think we are set up well with Ekblad, DeBrincat, Morrissey, Draisaitl signed on long term. But just keep in mind that with Eriksson Ek and Durzi due up, it'll be money that is kind of already spoken for. We don't know how much it'll be, but we'll have to spend something. So that about does it, ladies and gentlemen. Heading into the 2028 offseason, we're just about a couple weeks away from NHL 24, so this series is wrapping up. Be sure to leave your thoughts over here on YouTube or over on the Discord server, link in the description. It was a disappointing finish. It was a wild ride that had me lose some years off my life. It was a fun overtime, but we fell short. We didn't have the scoring out there. I don't know if it was the youth. The defense was strong enough. The goaltending wasn't great. There are definitely some things to discuss headed into this offseason. I look forward to hearing it from all of you. As we get towards the end of this series, next episode, the offseason will be another episode, but I do believe that next season, 2028-29, will be a live stream season. So keep note on that. Be sure to keep an eye out on the channel, on the Discord, on the Twitter, the X, whatever it's called, for information coming up on that. And we'll have a couple live streams, a few more seasons to try and get that Stanley Cup with this core to fulfill part 2 of our mandate before we call it a series, do our big 10-15 year wrap up, and move on to NHL 24. So ladies and gentlemen, thank you for taking the time to watch this one. Leave a like if you